Walk down any market streets in Nigeria and you will notice that if the first shop is selling rice, the next shop will be selling the same rice. Then another shop is selling rice. Opposite them, another person is selling rice. A few steps away, another shop is also selling the same rice. At this point, it is no longer competition or business. It's almost like a family gathering to destroy each other. Everybody on the same street is selling the same thing, paying separate rent, using separate generators. Meanwhile, they are all buying from the same supplier. But nobody wants to sit down and say, what if 5 of us come together and build one bigger, stronger business? This is one big problem with Nigerian business culture. Many of us prefer to own 100% of a tiny struggle than to own 20% or less of something very powerful. Nigerians are naturally not lazy people. We are generally hardworking to the point that even stress is stressed. But many times, we don't build big businesses because we don't trust each other enough to build together. To be honest, the deep suspicion is from many stories of how friends have duped friends, relatives disappearing with money. And to be fair, that suspicion did not come from nowhere. You hear things like, my uncle said we are family, then he carried the whole business money to solve his personal family problems. So after a while, everybody starts thinking, before this person cheats me, let me protect myself first. But the problem is, when everybody enters business already expecting betrayal, partnership dies before the business even starts. By the way, we have a very active WhatsApp community where many people are already partnering and succeeding in businesses. Feel free to join using the link in the description. Big businesses and wealth are hardly built alone. Most serious business growth happens when people combine something. One or more people contribute the capital, another person brings experience, then another brings connections, management, and access to market. That is how powerful companies are built. But in our own case, one person wants to be the founder, chairman, managing director, accountant, cashier, procurement officer, security man, and even cleaner. One man, 7 titles. But the business is still one small shop with one plastic chair outside. I've been around the world and noticed that Asians, Europeans, Arabs depend a lot on business partnerships. I noticed many big businesses that have survived years, sometimes even hundreds of years, are businesses built on partnerships. Many are family partnerships or friends bringing resources together, creating structure, distributing tasks, so they end up building businesses that continue to be the source of livelihood of many of their generations yet unborn. By the way, I'm not saying these people are perfect. Human beings are human beings everywhere, and sometimes partnerships ends in fights as well in these places. However, in Nigeria, it is not common to find businesses that have passed from one generation to another, then another. The difference is not that the others are angels. The difference is structure. They don't build only on emotional trust. They put everything in writing. The phrase, now my guy, is not a business structure. My guy can change when money enters. And money has a way of revealing people's hidden ministry. In Nigeria, we confuse friendship with partnership. Tomorrow, when profit comes, memory will start developing malaria. That is how your happily planned business partnership becomes Nollywood Season 3. The problem is not partnership. The problem is partnership without structure. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine 5 people. Each person has 5 million naira. If each person opens a separate shop, what happens? They pay 5 different rents, 5 generators to supply electricity, 5 suppliers, 5 small inventories or stocks in the shop, 5 separate struggles. But if they combine that money, they now have 25 million naira. They can rent one bigger space. They can buy in bulk and negotiate better prices. They can employ a manager, keep records, and build a stronger brand. They can even supply the smaller shops instead of becoming one of the smaller shops. That is the difference between small survival and business power. And this applies strongly to agriculture, trade, property, logistics, import and export, almost every business. One small trader may not have power, but an organized group can control supply, negotiate directly with farmers, arrange supply deals with big buyers. They can stop selling in panic. When people are scattered, the market controls them. But when people are organized, they start controlling the market. Another problem is that many Nigerian businesses die with the founder. A man builds a business for 25 years, He knows the suppliers, the customers, and the pricing. He knows who is owing him, but he writes nothing down. He does not properly train anyone. The business account and personal account are fighting inside the same banking app. Then one day, the man is no longer there. And though the business was good, it starts dying immediately because it was never a company or structured business. It was one man's personal hustle. But in a proper partnership, there is more chance of continuity. If one partner dies, the others can keep the business alive. The family of the late partner can still benefit. The children can be groomed and take up the partnership role of their late family member. That is how wealth survives beyond one generation. Now, I'm not saying everybody must enter partnership. No, because bad partnership can finish you faster than bad customers. Some people should remain your friends or your relatives only, because once money enters, you may discover that some people have spiritual gifts in disappearance. So don't partner blindly. Partner properly. Ask serious questions. Who owns what? Who is bringing the money or working full-time in the business? Who gets salary? How is profit shared? Who keeps the records? Who can withdraw money? What happens if one person wants to leave? What happens if one person dies? These questions are not signs of mistrust. They are signs of seriousness. Agreement is not an insult. Agreement is protection. So my point of view is that owning 100% is not always better. If you own 100% of a weak business, you own 100% of the stress. But if you own 20% of a strong business, that 20% may feed you better than your 100%. So the question is simple. Are we going to continue building 20 small shops on the same street, fighting for the same customers, paying 20 different rents and running 20 generators? Or are we going to learn to trust properly, structure properly, and build bigger businesses together? Because separate struggle may give you a shop, but organized partnership can build you an empire. So, finally, if you are interested in business or practical ways to build something meaningful, we are currently developing a free business mentorship program. You can find the link along with other very useful resources in the description below. See you in the next one. Goodbye.